Look at all that money. Look at all that money. Yeah, the money that they've spent. Take another look and take some time for hemp. Don't cut trees for paper, cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for hemp. Well, an acre of hemp makes 20 barrels of oil. No need for pesticides to poison all our soil. People got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rent. Well, it's time for hemp.
Yes, it is. It is time for hemp. Thank you for tuning in to the big broadcast today. Please share us with your friends. I am your host, Casper Leitch, and we ask that anytime you hear the word joint on the big broadcast, that you hit your pipes, your bongs, your vaporizers, and make it a point to take time for hemp. We always have a groovy show today, and we're going to kick it off by turning the spotlight onto my joint host, Byrne, who's been busy letting the world know how important it is to take hot time for hemp with this great book called For Country and Cannabis. Hey, Al.
Good afternoon, sir. Yes, thank you. That is a book I wrote. It's been released. It's everywhere. Apple Books, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. There's a book. It's a real book. It's 360 pages. It's a 40-year history full of technical information for the layman to understand, and traces the 40-year history of medical cannabis in the United States. How did that happen? Who did it? Why? Who are the good guys, the bad guys? The government, of course, is heavily involved in this book. And I recommend it for anybody that's a patient, certainly healthcare providers, doctors, nurses, social workers. They all ought to understand, and the book will teach you about the medical value, about the political aspect of this particular plant, and it's also I just want to mention it's international acceptance. We do have cannabis in the pharmacopoeia of about 30 countries worldwide. Rather, aggressive, wonderfully educated countries, United Kingdom, Spain, Canada, right next door. So it's all over the place. It's just our country that plays politics with it. And those politics are in the book. But that's my book. Please get a hold of it. I think you'll enjoy it. And today, as happens here on this program, we have a lot of international guests. And while one of our joint hosts is an international guy, he's Canadian. We call that international here. Another guest is from Canada as well. So I don't know our guest. We have chatted, but it is my honor to introduce two token Canadians.
That's right. Yes, we are both token Canadians. Hi, guys. As you can see, we're doing things a little bit differently today. We have an in-studio guest, and that is Gwen McDonald. We welcome you to the Time for Hemp broadcast. Just so you know, a little bit of history about Gwen. She's a local cannabis enthusiast. She has worked in the legacy market in the past. She's presently working in the legal industry here in Canada, and we're going to talk to her about working in both markets as well as her experiences.
Well, I just want to say I'm high, Gwen. Are you high, Gwen?
And highs are going to be stay above ground. That's all we need.
Well, we're glad to have you. And backstage, we've had to try to control Casper today. He anything could happen here, folks. It'll all be above board, but it could be weird.
Well, when you're dealing with agriculture, everything's out of control.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, here's the pump question I like to ask to get everybody rolling here is that uh, how did you start with cannabis anyway? I mean, what got you to the cannabis plant? Were you a stoner or were you, how'd it go?
I was definitely a stoner kid. Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
was alternative rock, stoner kid growing up. In the city that I grew up in was a very heavy General Motors town, so very industrial. So bit of a bush party town. You'd go in, you'd find somewhere to go, bring your beers in the forest, and if you were a smoker, you'd bring that. It's funny because growing up, I tell people the city that I grew up in, it was really hard to actually get flour at the time. It was mostly an oil and hash, so it was all like a lot of byproduct and homegrown. And then from there, going into my 20s, flour became a little bit more accessible in college, and then moving forward in life, it was just, I always knew where to get it. You just, once you know your people, those are your people. And just even through my travels and living abroad, I've just always been connected with those circles. And, you know, living abroad was a great experience because I got to travel to Amsterdam a little bit more frequently.
Oh,
Yeah. And then coming back and seeing that things in Canada were moving in towards legalization, I was excited to get on that.
Now, I understand from looking at your resume that you were an early entrepreneur, that you were making money in the world of cannabis and the streets of your city.
I did.
And you
True
were one of
story.
those people. You were one of those rockers who had access to all that.
Yeah, I was a criminal. I was
Oh my.
yeah.
And so you built a business making sales. Is that correct?
I worked for people that had grows and were doing distribution at the time, where, you know, I would come home.
Distribution is like what you were doing. Distribution.
Yeah.
You mean
call it
illegal
a
sales?
legacy
It's what I put on my LinkedIn now. Listen, you put the fancy terms from, like, you know, I had to meet up with somebody in the mall parking lot to deliver their inputs to make their chocolates, to now it's, you know, here's some
Distribution.
B2B deals.
So, but that tells me that you're pretty rough and tough and unflappable at an early age. So that means you kind of grew up fast too.
Yeah, I would say a little bit, but also being female has its pros and cons during pre-legalization, I would say. I mean, there wasn't an HR if things got a little rough for a woman, but you, for me and the other females that I found, we didn't create a stress for some of the guys that we worked for, because there could be some intense individuals we would work with, but they never seemed to worry about the females that were around them, whether they
All right.
perceived threat, the theft, or whatever. We became like a bit of a safer space
All
for
right.
some of these sketchy dudes.
Yeah,
Like I'll burn myself, right?
Well, I mean, I don't. There's definitely a spectrum of people that worked in the market. I've seen the various colors throughout that spectrum, and had different experiences for sure.
good, bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
So now you're doing
Fair.
legal sales and you got a legal cannabis business and you're making money hand over fist because everybody knows the whole world smokes pot. So that means if you got a business in cannabis, you're probably just making, it's $1 billion industry, right?
Well, I'm not the one running the businesses these days. I've always worked for others in
All right.
cannabis. So right now I am working for someone that has been running their sales agency and was an advocate heavily prior to legalization.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy to be in this space with Lisa Campbell, and Mercari is the cannabis sales agency that I do work for right now. And it's countrywide and international that she does a lot of work with. So me being in the legal retail and then moving into a sales rep position and brand ambassador is an interesting space to be, because I've worked on the retail side. Now I'm doing and visiting all sorts of different stores and promoting brands and trying to get them on the radar.
So like, are you selling pounds of pot or what?
Trying.
and
Case by case, brother, you know?
Let our audience know about the business.
Yeah, so the business side, as a sales agency, so it works a little different. So we have LPs
But what are
across
you
Canada.
selling? Are you selling pot?
Of course, we're selling pot. We're selling
Well,
oils.
the audience don't know. I mean, you're not selling like pipes and vapes. You're selling
No, we're not selling
oh my God,
accessories.
that's great smoke. I want 5 pounds, please. Right?
I mean, no, we're not selling. The way it works in Ontario is that we have one major wholesale provider, and that's run by the Ontario government, the OCS, so the Ontario Cannabis Store. So everybody that wants their product sold in the province of Ontario needs to go through this one distributor. So every retailer in the province of Ontario has one-stop shop portal. So if you have pot in BC, Newfoundland, Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Ontario, and you want to be in the market, you need to be in touch with the Ontario Cannabis Store.
Yeah.
You need to hopefully get your product there. Province to province in Canada is very different, where Manitoba, their legal system will accept every SKU, every product. In Ontario, they could be like, well, we're not looking for any ounces right now, but we're looking for 14 grams. So we have to play in that market. They also somewhat dictate what the wholesale is going to be. They also dictate what the retail cost is going to be. So it's a whole conversation, just how the market in Ontario runs.
Yeah, because each province, right, you would have a different way that the market was done or run. Each province would have different rules and the way that things are distributed. Such in BC, they have some direct
delivery is very good because of the government being on strike. So that's every time there's a shift governmentally or politically, that also has a major ripple effect through cannabis, as you can imagine. I mean, all of our provinces are legal. So federally, Cannabis Act, you can sell cannabis anywhere legally. We have our restrictions versus, this province does, this province doesn't.
When it comes to these products, is a product that's say made in BC or made in Manitoba, does it automatically get into every province, or is there a process that these businesses have to go through in order to?
A lot of bureaucracy. There's a lot of process. There's no guarantees. It's a very large challenge in Canada and Canadian producers to get their product out there. So if you're a micro or a small guy, it becomes even more challenging because of excise stamps.
Well, now, is this forcing the black market to grow and grow, or do they have such a clampdown that the black market just can't grow and you got to deal with this?
That's some of the conversation right now because of these costs that are being, it's a trickle-down effect to the consumer when you've got your licensed producer having to pay all these fees, this tax, this stamp, this other thing. So it comes down. So at the end of the day, yeah, you could get an ounce for $150 in a legal retailer, or you could go to your sovereign nation, a local reservation, and get it for $50.
Yeah, I've even seen $10 ounces on the reserve, just so you know.
Yeah.
But
whoa, not since 1971 have I ever heard of that. Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, $100, $150. Like I don't buy ounces at the stores, but I have seen some ads like up on the board on the side of a hydro pole that promotes $99 ounces at a store. And I look at it as to get you in, because there's some people say you pay for what you get.
So you got Walmart, and you got the high-end stores, right? You either got Walmart pot or you got Tiffany pot. Is that right?
I don't understand what you just told me. You can go and buy an ounce of cannabis bud for $100 in the store.
Yeah,
and that's the government cannabis.
Always
Yeah.
plus tax. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't understand how any retailer can make any money at all on that.
They don't. That's the thing. Yeah, they don't. It's
They
So
just-
then how
like
is the
I
market
know
growing?
a friend of mine. Well, actually, a couple of friends of mine. They'll pay anywhere like $125 to $150 for their ounces.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't understand how any brick and mortar with human beings that do all the work and stuff and pay the taxes and the light bill and whatever the hell else comes along, which is a lot. It
Employees.
seems, yeah, that's not enterprise. That's some sort of bureaucratic nightmare that's been created there for whatever
it's just-
reason. I don't
There's a
know.
lot of competition. There's been a
That
lot
was the
of
next thing.
there's
I
a
was gonna
lot of
say.
down pressure on the price of cannabis over the last year and a half or so, where because of the illicit market, the legacy market, as some people call it, as well as the reserves. Like I'm in the middle of a spot where there's like 80 stores on just two reserves.
The Green Mile.
The Green Mile is one of them.
Well,
Wow,
I got
that's
no
a
problem
lot.
with I got no problem with competition, and sooner or later there'll be a mass exodus. That number, whatever it is, 80, it'll pretty quick. It'll be
Yeah.
8. That's okay.
Yeah.
But I still don't understand how anybody can make any money with those government regulations there. The other thing so if I'm a patient in Ontario, that's where you guys are, right?
You're right.
So if I'm a patient in Ontario and I go to the store, how many choices am I going to have? How many different varieties or of cannabis bud am I going to see there that I can make a decision on based on whether I've got some sort of spasticity problem or Crohn's?
Well, I'll jump in as soon as you go into an Ontario retailer. We don't need to know if you're a patient. Medical is not the realm of conversation that we are permitted to have in the legal market. So if you can
Really?
see,
Yeah.
Wow.
you have to frame it. Most of my experience is in the retailer side, being in a brick and mortar store during COVID and beyond, opening stores. And now the sales rep thing is new for me. So now I'm visiting lots of stores and having the similar conversations. But having the store and people coming in is sorry, I think I've lost my train of
As
thought.
far as the medical and with people coming in.
We're not permitted. It's actually like if an AGCO, that's our governing body, inspector came in and was testing us like a secret shopper and said something like that to us of like, listen, I've got some carpal tunnel. Do you have a cream that you could recommend? We would have to say, well, listen, I can't speak to you on a medical basis. I'm not a doctor. You should definitely speak to your practitioner about that. But I can frame it. However, we do have these creams. It has been said, if you look online, like I can't speak to it in a medical way at all, or I can find myself in trouble.
Okay. Once we get by, once I get by that, okay. I'm aware that I can't bring up my medical condition, but
You can. We'll just frame it funnily to you
okay.
back.
So I said, all right, Gwen, what kind of options can you give me here? What are you going to tell me? I've got how many different strains? I've got. Is it?
Yeah, I'm asking first if you're looking for something to smoke, something to ingest,
Okay.
something vape. First, I want to see what kind of realm you're looking for, and then
All
I'll
right.
go from there. But yeah, we'll sell things in pretty much an ounce, half O, quarters, half quarters, things like that.
You have pre-roll joints and things
Pre-rolls
like that.
are available, singles, 10 packs, 5 packs, 3 packs. They're all pre-packaged. They all have big warning labels on them.
Oh, yeah.
They
And what kind of cannabis am I buying then? What am I buying? In a pre-roll, is it telling me that this is a particular?
It'll tell you the strain. It'll tell you the percentage of THC. It'll
Oh,
tell you, and good labeling will show you at least the top 3 terpenes, then what to expect in that, because it's all heavily regulated. So everything Health Canada wise, it's numbers. It's going to show you all the things.
well, I got no problem with that. I think that's a good
Yeah.
idea. Yeah. I
That's
mean,
easy.
Yeah.
Actually, like I know the last time that I went to a store and purchased a product, without going into the medical end in the store, I looked up the terpenes that were good for my condition and then went into the
Yeah.
store looking to match the terpenes, never even worried about what the THC was.
However, if you try and buy more than an ounce from me, I will be unable to sell that to you. It's capped at 30-gram maximum. So
For the
if
day,
you-
for the month, or for the what? For the year? For what?
your
How's that work?
carried limit. So you leave my store, you go to your vehicle, you're kind of out of my hands, but your receipt says 30 grams. Even in the POS, I can't sell you any more than that. It'll lock me out. So when you go in your vehicle, now let's say you get pulled over by a police officer. He can check your carry amount. You could have 100 cases of beer and 20 bottles of vodka, but you better not have more than 30 grams of weed.
Wow.
Or the equivalent of.
Yeah, and
Gee.
exactly.
And the
So-
equivalency becomes a whole thing because it's also registered in your point of sale system for these cash registers. These bud tenders are dealing with, okay, I'll sell you X amount of vape carts, X amount of hash. Oh, it's capped me out. This is all I can sell you because of the formulas they've put in to be the equivalency. This would be the equivalent of 5 grams. This would be the equivalent of 10 grams. So that has evolved because initially we were only able to sell people 4 drinks at a time.
4 beverages, yeah.
4
I remember
beverages
that. That
because the
was-
formula was so poor in the system. But that's it. We have a carry limit.
Okay, you got a carry limit, but to Casper's question, I've just bought my carry limit from you, and I've gone home, and I did that on Wednesday. It's now Saturday. Can I come back and get another?
Sure. It's in your own home now, so it's fine. It's when you're in transit becomes
Okay,
the
so it's a
issue for the officer.
transit problem.
Yeah, they can't
But-
sell more than the 30 grams.
Because then you
can't
start to look shady, like you might be
All right,
reselling.
all right, but look, what's the? Tell me what
Rock the
happens. I've just come in. I'm Al. I come in. I get my 30 grams.
Yeah.
I leave. I come back
Right.
in an hour. I want 30 grams. Aren't you just going to sell me 30 grams? Not your
I
problem.
sure am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want
Yeah.
to find out.
It's 30 grams per transaction. And you
All right.
can't just say, okay, I want to buy this. You buy the 30 grams and then you say, oh, hang on, I want to buy an ounce of this too. And that
Right.
becomes a different transaction, but it's still at the same.
Okay. No,
And then when you leave, you're going to have 60 grams instead of the 30.
I understand. I just want to make sure our audience gets it.
Well, and it sounds almost
If I
like
get it, they probably can get it. That's the way I look at it.
it sounds almost like the borderline of the global digital ID that they're trying to enforce, where eventually they can shut down your ability to spend money in certain stores on certain products because you, like you said, you've made your purchase for the day, and so eventually they'll be able to, with your track you on your digital ID, and even get more control over that. It sounds like cheapers.
Now I know when it comes to like edibles, you think 30 grams, like a cookie weighs more than 30, can weigh more than 30 grams, but how do they deal with the edible end of things? Like they're only allowed up to 10 milligrams per
Mhm.
cookie.
It's a formula.
Another formula
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. And that beverage scenario, I'm glad to see that they fixed that.
There's been some good changes. I mean, the formula has changed. We used to have window coverings so that you couldn't see inside the stores.
Mhm.
That's been permitted to be removed so people could
Wow.
see in, see
You know
out.
what passerbys to be able to look into the store?
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which actually
Whoa.
became a bit of a safety issue for people
Yeah.
working late at night, so that if there was, let's say, a robbery, unfortunately, no one externally could see that this was happening inside.
And your advertising is what? There's a
Not
problem?
permitted.
Yeah, okay, that's what I wanted to hear.
Well, that's another. Are you allowed to advertise on like Pace Radio or Time for Hemp? Are you able to do that?
No, I mean, but there are some curiosities that I have noticed of late about
Yeah.
cannabis. I mean, even the city of Toronto, their streetcar had a massive ad along the side for the Ontario Cannabis Store, which
Oh.
is the wholesaler distributor monopoly,
Yeah.
which didn't, it seems, what are we allowing, what are we not under our regulations?
They're connected.
There's
to
a
the,
lot of blurring right
yeah,
now.
because they're connected to the people who make the regulations.
Correct.
So we've discussed earlier that if you want to buy cannabis in Canada, you can. You have to be a certain age and all that, but you can't discuss medicine. You can't go in there and say, Gwen, I got a problem with pain. Can you recommend a strain? That is not allowed in Canada, we have learned. So I'm going to ask the question. I said, what if I go in there, Gwen, and I say, so what's the best food source here?
As in, you're looking for some edibles?
No, I want to buy some cannabis and eat it. Buds. See, we've had a guest on here that has proven to us and thousands, millions of other people that the cannabis plant, the leaves, are super, super nutritious. And they are not only available as a nutritional aid, but when you eat them cold, there is no psychoactive or psychotropic effect at all. Because as we all know, don't we out there, audience, you don't get that psychoactive and or psychotropic effect until you put some heat to it, like 384 degrees or something. Only then is the THC released and into an acid form. So anyway, my thing is, we know, the three of us sitting here know that the cannabis plant is super nutritional. So I asked that question because I thought you wouldn't have an answer, and you don't. You don't sell cannabis products in Canada, apparently, as food. And so I got to say, as a retailer, why don't you?
Well, it's interesting because the last retail location I worked at was called a farm gate. So it's essentially a store on a cultivation site. And I did have a couple people come in and ask if they could literally buy the plant, if they could buy fan leaves from us.
Right.
And unfortunately, no, we're not regulated to do things like that. Like, you can come in and buy your bud, buy your ounce or whatever quantity, ounce or under at that time you want, and you can digest it, take it home, bake it, turn it into something you want, butter.
But you can't sell a
But
fan
we
leaf?
don't sell fan leaves or anything like
Oh,
that,
no.
or anything
All right,
else.
is that a rule, or is that just something that has happened?
It's a rule.
It's
It
written
doesn't
down.
happen.
So the government.
Next thing that we are permitted to sell clones, but many do not. There's
Okay,
very
sure.
few locations, unless they're, like I said, like a farm gate.
Yeah. So the answer to my question is the government doesn't understand there's nutritional value. Super. Okay.
Correct.
So a long time ago, I got hired by the second richest guy in Maryland to spend a weekend with him when cannabis was still illegal everywhere, and tell him how to make some money on it legally. Well, hey, bud, I'm good, but that's a tough one. But I came up with the answer. He looked at me like I was friggin' crazy, and I wasn't, and I'm going to ask this question, and that's how we're going to get to dogs. It's good food. Okay, if the government says to you, you can't send a fan leaf to feed a human, is there a law that says you can't feed a dog or a horse or a cow? Because that's what I suggested to the second richest man in Maryland, is there is no law in the United States that says you can't give cannabis to an animal. There isn't, other than the human animal.
I guess the question is the source.
So I was just wondering if it's ever been raised in Canada. It hasn't here. If you look at Gwen and other people, you might want to look back in our archive, Time for Hemp, for an episode called Reefer Roasters. And that episode just demonstrates completely what I'm talking about in the story of the reefer roasters. Chickens ate hemp seed, became unbelievably good food. So I'm just saying, as a retailer in Canada, would I be, I would try to sell some cannabis fan leaves as animal feed. What would they do to that? What do you think legally would Canada do?
In the Ontario retailer market, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah,
You can't sell anything other than what is gone through the legal wholesaler or approved companies like where you get your accessories.
Like, could a company, like, could a micro producer, let's say, for example, package leaves as a whole and then sell them?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, buy them from the government.
Go through the
Package
legal
them
system.
for,
It would
but
be
package
great.
them for horses. Package them for horses. I mean, has that been tried up there? Has anything like that been tried? Probably not.
I'm not sure the whole hemp side of licensing up here,
Yeah, no, could they?
and if they could just do it like that.
They could sell leaves so people could juice them.
Sure. That's my point. Based on what we've learned in our interviews. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I brought up because I give my dogs cannabis butter every day. I got 3 golden retrievers. I've been doing this for 40 years. They get like a little cracker with some butter on it that I make myself. I make it out of the buds. The easiest thing in the world to do is to get a magic butter machine. If you don't know what that is, just get one.
Yeah.
I think every stoner in the world's got one, maybe 3. Anyway, and so what the idea is that we all have an endocannabinoid system: humans, dogs, horses, whales. And so if it's good for us, it's got to be good for our critters. It's the same way with the food. If we can give our critters a very nutritious hemp product, then we eat that critter, well, it just goes to reason we've just eaten better meat or better fish. So
now you keep talking about this government agency, this government approved stuff. Isn't there a website that you can go to and check all that out?
what I just said?
No,
The
that's
Cannabis
my
Act.
question to Gwen.
Oh, okay.
The Cannabis Act covers everything, and it has had changes.
Yeah.
But
But
I
that was
just
my
said in my
segue
book.
to the website that you want to show on the show.
Oh, as far as in the previous show, we're talking about the Ontario Cannabis Store and how the Ontario Cannabis Store is the spot where all the retailers have to go and purchase the products to put on the shelves, correct?
Yes.
And you're going to show us the products, right?
Yeah, we can go through that. There's the whole website. You can search by product. You can search in a category. You can search by your brand that you're looking for. You can search by size. So it's basically your Amazon Jeff Bezos of what's available on Ontario.
How groovy.
So pick something and we'll enter it into the search menu and see.
All right,
Yeah,
I need some skin lotion for my elbow because I got tennis elbow and it kind of hurts. And I need something to help. I needed some good balm.
Okay. There you go. These are the different lotions that you can get.
That's groovy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now with the lotions, like we talk about milligrams for cannabis and the edible end of things. How is it with the lotions when it comes to the THC and CBD milligrams?
Well, I like the fact that
They're listed as well. They also have them.
I like the fact there's
It will-
THC in a lot of this stuff.
Sorry.
And this is a government website, so these are accurate measurements and these are accurate numbers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything is regulated, so it is. The numbers are down to like very few error type of ratios.
See,
Well, and I can also use some gummies because I need some sleep help, some assistance. So it'd be good if they had some gummies that I could rely on too.
gummies. Yes, we can search for gummies.
Edibles.
So right under edibles there.
Hard edibles. Oh, wait a minute. We've got more than gummies here, Casper. You sure that's what you want?
Well, I need a good ounce of smoke too.
Okay, well, you see these gummies, all right? Maximum THC is 10 milligrams.
Wow.
Per
And
gummy.
is that per gummy? $1.75 per gummy?
I'd say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because one per pack is what it says there, right?
And do they taste
How
good?
many?
Are they tasty?
I haven't had any.
Who makes these?
All sorts of companies, all different licensed producers. There's all different brands that sell them. So you can find stuff that's chewy, fruity, harder, sugar coated, not sugar coated.
Well, and this is how it should be. I mean, I love this because, you know, if you're going to put something in your body and you want to know how it's going to, this is a great, it's like, to me, testing your liquor, you know what the liquor content is going to be on something that you're going to drink. Or if you're, you want to cut back on salt, do you want to cut back on sugar? You want to be able to look at the ingredients on boxes and know what's in there and be accurate. I love it.
Yeah,
I don't see anything wrong with this. This is fabulous.
It'll show you if has if it's distillate infused, if it's rosin infused. It'll get down to all those details.
Okay. They also at the OCS they also do random testing because there's been, you know, accusations, and it's happened in the US as well, where there's questionable test results.
All right.
And at the OCS they do random testing.
Yeah, Health Canada is responsible for these inputs as well. So everybody's checking numbers along the way.
Let's see.
What else you got a munchies for?
So
What else did you munchies for?
how about some bud here? Let's see some bud.
Bud?
Come
Okay.
on.
Flowers.
Come on. It's a cannabis show. Come on.
Well, and I love that this
guys
is a
spelled
government
right.
website, so
Let me
this
take
demonstrates how
that off.
regulation can be positive.
So, cannabis flower. You would think that would be okay. I'll search under flower just to make it.
So this is this place where every brick and mortar store gets their product from.
All right.
They are not government run stores. So these guys sell for the price they want to sell it, and they set the wholesale price that they want to have their wholesale price at.
So this
So you
$6
just can't pick up a
price-
phone and call a company and say to a company, I want to buy 200 packs of gummies. You have to do that through this government agency.
So this is a mail order only if you go through the website.
All right.
If you want to go to a physical location, you have to understand that these stores could be an independent store.
Mhm.
They could be chain operated, but they all get the same product is available to them. That's from this one wholesaler that is government run.
That's what I meant. So there's only really one point of sale for everything to begin with. So like
Yeah.
if somebody made gummies, they'd have to take their gummies to this agency and have this agency approve it,
Correct.
and then make it available on their website for it to be legally sold in your country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk
In this
about a
province.
monopoly.
Now,
In this particular province.
I don't know if you notice here right now on the screen they have milled flour, so you could even buy your cannabis already ground up.
I've been waiting on that. Yeah, where's the bud? Well, wait a minute. What's that?
There it is right here. Here's some right here on the screen.
Yeah, it's all
Real flour, though. He wants to see.
Oh,
not-
you
not
want real
milled, but-
flour?
Yeah, he wants to see buds, not.
Well, here's some bud. But here, Woody
ground up
Nelson.
stuff.
there's some bud.
Here's some Woody Nelson craft flour.
All right, no, they got bud. Okay.
And they will designate if it's craft. So I mean hang dried, hand trimmed.
Well, now at the same time, isn't this a bit of a slap in the face to people like Mark Emery, who was drug across a country borders and taken out of the country of Canada by American agents and drugged down into a court in America and tried in a kangaroo court and thrown in jail, only for the Canadian government to turn around a handful of years later and go, look, we have these approved products that you can buy. I mean,
well, that's what we fought about, right? Back in the 80s.
I think anywhere
it was riskier back then.
Anywhere that
charges
should be dropped.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not like there's so many piles of people over the years that, they have those records for cannabis, which is now, the things that they got charged for would be legal.
Now, is this where you buy your seeds from too? I mean, like
they have seeds,
you can buy seeds. Yeah, seeds are available.
And are their seeds good quality? Has anybody bought their seeds and grown and smoked them and seen if they were?
Oh yeah, people on Reddit will tell you.
Yeah, will they?
How are these strains compared to the underground strains?
Those are also regulated. They have a seed library that people can choose from, so it is up to the licensed producer what they're going to put out there.
Here you go, guys. Jack Harrer.
And can you get autoflower seeds?
That was what, $54 for what? A seed? One.
A 5-pack.
5. So it's basically $10 a seed, maybe $11 a seed.
Okay. Now, can I buy this, or does it have to be a Canadian citizen?
I would say you have to be a Canadian citizen because we cannot transfer cannabis over the border.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty groovy. I mean, that is like what we thought. It's almost like a Cheech and Chong movie from our side,
They describe this Jack Harrer as a great hybrid of sativa and indica with a citrus and woodsy aroma, with a high stretch rate and a 9 to 10 week flowering time. This grow is something that may go down in the history books from all your grows. THC and CBD ranges shown on product pages are provided to the OCS by the licensed producers. Germination not guaranteed. Wondered about that.
So they're not saying it here, but they say germination not guaranteed. Is it feminized? Is it feminized?
No, these would be regular seeds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they offer feminized or do they offer auto grow?
They will indicate it where they say it.
Well, here's a 5-pack of wedding cake.
So anybody in Canada can shop on this website and have it delivered. It doesn't have to be in your province.
Well, everybody out of province order from the OCS?
I think it's Ontario. I think it says shipping in Ontario.
Shipping only in Ontario. So,
all right.
There you go. Yeah.
Wow, they really got it nailed down, don't they?
That's beautiful.
Oh yeah. The OCS. Last I understood, they were somewhere around $450 million to $1 billion in profits a year because they have a monopoly on it here in the province. So.
Wow.
Yeah, and what Gwen does, as the Ontario brand ambassador for
Mercari.
I knew I was going to miss that out.
I got you.
Well, we always said that they wouldn't legalize cannabis until the government could make money.
Yeah. Yeah, the province is making money. I can tell you that. There's no doubt about that. And, there are places that did have a bit of a struggle at the beginning. Okay, so those products that we looked at there, is that some of the stuff that you go around and to these retail stores and promote and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, coming from the management and retail space, I've moved into working into a sales rep position and brand ambassador. So now I have a portfolio of brands that I represent. and we have a different catalog, different categories we can fulfill for different stores. So if a store is, looking to bring in maybe a 1-to-1 flower, they want to change up what's on their menu, their customers are getting strain fatigue, I can recommend, hey, well, right now we have a super lemon haze CBD from Joy Botanicals. This might be a great one to bring into your menu. Or, maybe people want to try a different hash. We've just added cross-border concentrates. Founders of the Graybeard guys are on the team, and we have a new Temple Ball hash. So I go in and let them know what's on our current roster, what makes sense for their store, their demographic, and try to insist that they bring cases in, follow up, and do some product knowledge when they need it to help their customers and sell things along. Yeah, we represent a variety of categories right now. So pre-rolls, whole flower, beverages, infused pre-rolls. Yeah, there's a mix of things. Hash, live rosin butter.
Now I see like the great gardeners there. There's a his background fighting advocacy in the cannabis end and going to court, and now challenging the government. And now he's got a business, and you guys are promoting his product.
Yeah, working for Lisa, and Lisa Campbell is the CEO of this company. A lot of our brands are from BC. They're partnered with Indigenous or are Indigenous. Women empowerment kind of is our focus as well. We have a really great team. A lot of the group has been in the cannabis advocacy space, or an enthusiast, or working in retail to moving their way up and understanding what retailers are looking for. So yeah, it's been a great team to join.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you've got a career path ahead of you that you're really going to find prosperous, and you're going to have a chance to meet a lot of wonderful people along the way as well.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Well, is there anything you want to say to our audience before we say so long, farewell, bye-bye?
Give your dogs lots of love, and if you can give them the treats that Byrne is, then you should as well.
There you go. Thank you, man.
And Al, Graham, you want to give a shout out to the Pace Radio Network?
Yeah, you can find the Pace Network at paceradio.net. We cover cannabis as well as psychedelics, and we broadcast 7 days a week.
And for those who want to learn more about the history of the cannabis movement, pick up this groovy book, right, Al Byrne?
Yeah, and then there's a story about the first veterinarian in in the world that took an interest in what we were teaching people at Patients Out of Time as far as nutrition, again, with cannabis. And he was a Canadian. In fact, he was the vet in charge of all Canadian vets, that work for the government.
Groovy.
So he was a good find. And that's the kind of stories you'll see in that book. There's hundreds of them like that.
And we want to remind people to go to timeforhemp.news, get some free downloads, free music, lots of information about how important it is to take time for hemp.
Look at all that money. Look at all that money. Yeah, the money that they've spent. Take another look and take some time for hemp. Don't cut trees for paper, 'cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for hemp. Well, an acre of hemp makes 20 barrels of oil. No need for pesticides to poison all our soil. People got no food, they got no clothes, they got no rent. Well, it's time for hemp. Throughout Earth's history, hemp has been used, no mystery. Hemp was legal to pay your taxes. For more than a cent, your faxes. The founding fathers make sense to me. It's time to grow hemp legally. Think of all its uses. It's money that's well spent. Right now, no excuses. It's time for hemp. Sustainable green industry, that's our intent. A better place this world will be. It's time for hemp. Fuel and food and clothes and soap, housing, cars, yeah, cars, no joke. Henry Ford built a car of hemp. It's time for us to do it again. People being flowers for with Valentine as it's meant. Right now, it's time for him. Hemp is a true necessity for the wealth and protection of this country. Thomas Jefferson spoke those words. He knew the value of these herbs. Just like birds of a feather, we can work together and live a hemp. Look at all that money, yeah, the money that they spend. Take another look and take some time for him. Don't cut trees for paper, 'cause it hurts the environment. Stop deforestation, yeah, it's time for him.